kind of place,
Sure.
and then everything else would be kind of small places from there.
To Infinity and Beyond, welcome back. How is Infinity and Beyond? Double Brian has some lines. How do you want me to read these, Double Brian? I need direction. I mean, I could give you like 70 lightning fast takes of get busy living or get busy dying, but, you know.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
What context exactly? See, I think it needs some like low energy, some sardonic tones. Read them in English, like high English or low English.
Middle English.
Middle English. Oh, that's rough.
Hello.
Hello, Frank.
Hey, Frank.
What's up, guys?
Not much, Frank. How are you?
I'm great. Sorry for being a bit late.
Oh,
I'm ready now.
You know, we're only gonna dock your pay $3,000.
Only 3,000. Okay, that's not too bad.
Got you, Frank. Got you, cause.
What
Got him.
What a trick! Oh god! What a joke!
Yeah, you gotta get busy living, or you gotta get busy dying, Frank.
We got some Greek impressions over there.
Yeah, great, fantastic. English. Okay, so like, get busy living or get busy dying.
Actually, wasn't too bad.
Oh. Let me see if I can get low into like a Tom Hardy. It's been a long time. Think. He says like brother instead of brother. But oh man, it's been so long. You got to get busy living or get busy dying. The way I see it. Okay. Maybe I'll just adopt like a British accent for the first half of the stream and run everybody away.
Well, hello. How are you doing?
Right. This is John. Hey, John. Welcome.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Fantastic.
Working on those storyboards now.
Oh god.
What?
Storybirds. Storyboats. Oh, good evening, I'm working on your storyboats, mate.
Okay, alright, no,
Oi, mates.
Hey, mate, I'm working on your storyboats right now.
Guys, stop. Look, we've got 4 people in here, first off.
Okay.
Second off, we've got actual British people probably here, too. And they don't want to hear... Like, that would be like... It'd be like a whole bunch of British people affecting American accents that were horrifically...
Like you got that southern drawl?
Right, exactly.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they're equally kind of stupid sounding.
Right, well,
I like Irish accents.
Either way,
we're talking about UK.
Let's get to Frank's screen. Let's watch Frank's screen and then.
Okay, wait. I have to prepare my screen.
Okay.
What are we going to do?
Well, first off, as it says on the schedule, and I have to read FlameFoxx's thing in a moment here, but we'll do this first. Frank animates pre-developed assets, while David and I discuss design of starting areas and recommend ancillary animations. So here's what I was thinking, and hopefully Double Brian is Irish, which we will not affect accents for. Because
oh man, hello. Say hello to Conor McGregor for me, Double Brian.
Yes. You should. Don't let that opportunity slip away, Double Brian. Now, the question is, did Cody pre-develop any assets for the D-Zone? Because if he didn't, then we're going to be in trouble.
We're toast.
We are dead in the water. My guess is that he did.
Let's check there.
Oh, I will, says Double Brian. Hey, Cody. Oh, that's not Cody. Wait, is Cody here? No, that's not Cody. Who are you saying hi, Cody?
I'll be right back.
This is Frank, not Cody. I mean,
yeah,
we'd much rather have Cody, but got Frank. So.
I mean, not me personally. Like, if I had to
kill one and take the other. I'm totally a Frank guy, but I can understand how you want Cody.
I mean, I'm team.
There's pros and cons.
I'm Team Cody. All I'm saying is Cody is the Jacob to Frank's Edward.
I'm Team Hermione.
All right, so Frank, here's what I think you should do. You should go to the folder, the concept art folder, and find Valley Dwelling 002. No, Azrael is John. John is the other guy on the call with us. Cody's is... God, what is Cody's?
I forgot.
Yeah, I forget what Cody's is.
Isn't Cody's just Cody?
No, it's not.
It totally is.
It's not that. Okay, alright, so let me read what FlameFoxx has posted here. I need to get a few names.
Right.
There's Andy and Red. Characters that I'm familiar with because I was in the Shawshank Redemption. So do you want the characters' voices? Because I can't do good impressions of them. Or do you just want it delivered straight? Like straight, no chaser, FlameFoxx. I think what I'm gonna do is deliver it hyper on the melodrama, while Frank readies his screen.
What we want is Valley Dwellings.
Yeah, you want Valley Dwelling 002. You see the like structures at the bottom of the screen, the white ones, the ones that just have ink work to them right now.
I'm loading up.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do with those?
You are going to animate the smoke trail. Yep, that's right. You're gonna animate like an opening door on one of them. You're gonna do some outlines. That's gonna be great. Get ready, Frank.
Video games. Video
All right,
games.
FlameFoxx, are you ready? Here it goes. Fluke it, he says. All right, so I'm guessing that means wing it. Getting out of here tonight. Got everything prepared. Going to break out. Are you crazy? No one in the 50 years of this prison being open has escaped from Shawshank Prison. I don't think you understand. I designed this prison. I know every weakness and opening of this prison. I'm breaking out. Well, fuck, man. Good luck. You coming? Or what? Am I coming? Yes. Are you coming with me out of this place? I'm 65 years old, man. I just slow you D. There was no further text there. And Kirby, where's the milk? There's no milk wish being fulfilled here. That's all I'm saying. So that was my reading of the Shawshank Redemption. That's all I've got. I don't remember Andy designing the prison, but everything else seemed to fit. All right, Frank, are you ready? Are you ready?
I can share my screen for sure.
That's right. So are you ready to colorize some assets?
So yeah. So these are the dwellings that you'd like to get some animations on, right?
Yes.
Hello. Yes.
Yes.
Want to check out the recent animation exercise I did?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really fast.
Yeah.
Check it out. So this is a traditional animation exercise. This is a ball with a wheel, and this is a heavy ball, and they are attached by a string. Okay.
Okay. Show us, Frank. Oh, Frank, that's so Pixar of you.
That's a ball. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Is everyone else charmed? I'm charmed by this.
Okay. So let's take, for example, this house.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. You get a little smoke trail, and you play with that.
And I will probably need to add some colors.
Yep.
And then make it.
Oh, just by the way, if we're doing that, then I think you should use. You have the environments folder open still, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and check out the Valley Dwelling 003 image that Cody's been doing to get an idea overall of what the colors will look like, and the Cliffside Tower PNG image. David.
Yeah.
I meant to talk to you about something, and
okay.
I suppose we'll do that now. So, I was thinking.
Oh, damn!
Yes.
This is my first time seeing that image.
Oh, the Cliffside Tower image? Or the Valley Dwelling 003 image?
No, the previous one that was being looked at.
This one?
That is so good.
Yeah, Cody's I don't know what Cody does besides stay in his chair and be a father.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah, that's about it.
Pretty much most of his work.
That's all Cody.
Pretty much what he does.
Yeah, he puts his girls to
I
sleep.
gotta ask him how he does that.
No, it's not Double Brian. It's not being fulfilled. So, David, I was thinking.
Yes.
And I was applying my mind brain to the brain work that needed to be done.
I've heard you've done that once in a while.
Yeah. Well, sometimes the moon is full and the time is right, and you just have to employ your mind brain.
They're always saying that Kirby, he's always got ideas on his face, and I'm like, that sounds like someone I know, but I can't quite place the name. They're like, oh, you're talking about Kirby? And I'm like, no, someone else.
It's got to be someone else. Well,
sounds like him, though.
That's why I think people come to the stream, is because I always have ideas on my face, so they just, take those and write them down.
What if that's how thoughts really worked?
Well, it would be great, but it's
It
also
would kinda be
called
great.
non-verbal communication. So,
Yeah.
So anyway, here's what I was thinking. Instead of actually building these gigantic towers with the rock that they're quarrying out, my thought is that if the capital were to send engineers, and tell me if I'm spoiling anything and you need me to stop.
Okay.
Instead of doing that, what they would do, they would utilize the rock formations that are already there, because you don't have to build a tower up to the height of the rock wall if you build the tower out of the rock wall. If you quarry out the bottom and you quarry out some other stuff, you can even build large things on top of the rock wall itself. Now, when I was talking go ahead.
Question, though. How bureaucratic is this capital?
No, I'm not taking that question.
Okay.
That's a bad question.
No, it's a good question, but I'm not taking it, because it's going to take a long time, and I would have to confer with David, and we would talk about how bureaucratic the capital is, and then we'd go back to Frank, and it would never
John, I'll have to categorize that
I understand. I was asking because dependent on how bureaucratic it is, they wouldn't care about what was easier. It would be what would, whatever.
From a strict world-building sense, let's assume that they're intelligent. Let's assume that they send engineers who know what they're doing because they want to build towers. Assuming that's true, they are not likely to build up towers that are the height of the rock wall or go above the rock wall itself, when they could instead mine out from the rock wall.
Yeah, I think it's an okay idea. I think the things that the towers originally stood for was that it made strategic sense for them to be taller than the city, because they were mainly there to keep a watch on Eddie.
Which this still affords for. Plus,
okay, I'm not against the idea. I think it's fine if you think it's interesting. I think they're both valid.
I think if we can. Well, what I thought would be interesting, because I was talking with Cody about the giant image that he's done. Yeah. I think what would be interesting is if we could, get a tower here coming out of the rock wall, or get one here.
I can't see your mouse. I'm gonna make it big. You circle wherever you were circling again.
Dissen. And Dissen.
Oh, Dissen. Tower right in the middle?
No. Here's the city itself.
Yeah.
That's the middle. Dissen.
Oh, okay. I see where you're
pointing
now.
Rock.
Yeah.
And then you have towers that guard the entrance to the city on either side that are able to see in either direction and form a mouth, essentially.
A gate. Yeah, but I just don't think it would make sense that Valley would be willing to put up with people so close building such a giant structure.
We could put it here. We could put it over here. And we can put it over here. I mean, I think it would make more sense than people actually building huge towers, because they're not meaningfully changing. I mean, or they are meaningfully changing it, but they're not adjusting tremendously the face of the valley itself. They're just adding enough so that they have a defensive emplacement or fortification.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like how artificial they would be like one of the things I think that made me interested in the whole like cleared landscape and things like that is Valley is kind of a place dedicated to not appearing like a civilization. Like it wants to blend into the actual natural way of things, versus the capital structure would look like something that was built and kind of copy pasted there in some weird way. So to me, it used to stand for some kind of like aesthetic and architectural differences that the capital and the valley naturally had. So that's my main defense for it. I'm not like totally against it if you're like in love with the idea, but
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
that's originally why it was like that.
okay. Well, first off, then, let me go into the reasons why I think it would be beneficial from both an aesthetic perspective and from a camera angle perspective. But before I do that, I have to address FlameFoxx's question. No, I have not seen that video, FlameFoxx. Please do not post it here. Yeah, but that is, I have no idea what that would be. Okay, first off, something I realized is it's going to be very difficult to get a tower in the shot of the city, because what we decided sort of when I was talking with Cody was that this image here wouldn't afford for no matter how we put the camera down into the city itself, you're never going to get structures that resemble the ones that are in the Valley Dwelling 002 PNG, because you're going to be looking down on them from above, and to render them in detail, well, actually, I think I should show you the other image just so you get a better idea of why this won't work. This is what Cody can do in terms of detail with this image, the Valley 003 Dwellings image. I'm going to zoom in really close on it. Maybe that's as far as I can go. He can zoom in on these, but really it's just pixel depth at that point on these buildings. He can kind of color them. You're not going to get anything the sort of detail that we'd want. And not only that, but Valley isn't best aesthetically when you're looking down on it. It's best aesthetically when you're looking up into it, because it's got this huge rock face behind it, and it's built up toward that rock face, right? So if we were trying to inspire in players some awe of what they were looking at, we want to get it from a low angle. Not only that, but if the city is assembled vertically, then a low angle makes sense too, because you're able to take the character and move them up into the city, rather than looking down into the city and having the top part of it cut off.
Yeah, I'm okay about the angle. Like, I always thought that actually any detail on the tower would just take place in the east scene, because I thought like basically no matter what we did with the D zone, it would pretty much always be a problem that would be in the way. So, yeah.
Well, I think what we could do, and I have to go back up to the other images to show you. I'm gonna still be sharing. This is the solution that I found in this image. Oh, right. I wasn't sharing my screen that whole time, so you have no idea what I was... I'm sorry. I forgot Frank was sharing. So here's... And I apologize, Frank. I'm cutting off your sharing right now. Here's a low angle on a town that's built up structurally vertically. You can see the individual structures that you'd want to point and click on to visit. And the character moving through the environment can shrink up back into the distance, and it would make sense.
Yeah.
Whereas if I look into this city from above, it's going to be much harder for me to pinpoint out smaller buildings, because
I think the angle's a good idea.
Okay.
I'm just talking about the placement of the tower and where it would be and whether it should be in the T-zone map or not.
Well, if we orient Valley in this way, then we can take the tower and put it over here, or suggest that it's there.
Yeah.
On this side of the image. And if we do that, then the proper orientation for it, the place where the tower would make most sense, I think is like over in this area. Because we could take the camera and put it here, looking up that way. If we do that, then we would, if we want to capture the tower in the image, then I think that would make sense. Now, what I was thinking after that was, if they were going to build a tower over here, that it would make more sense for it to be built out of the rock wall itself. Since the rock wall is so close, like, building a tower here would just take so many resources, especially if you wanted it to be as tall as the rock wall, which is just massive.
Yeah, its proximity just doesn't make any sense. I don't know, I think it's just easier to have the tower out of the D zone and in the background and stuff like that.
Okay. Well then,
like, as long as there's there's some towers in the background of the D zone image, there's enough perspective for the player to have a concept of where they are in relation to one another, you know?
Sure. Well, then my secondary argument for including it would be that in and of itself, Valley doesn't, like, as it's shown here, even though it's a beautiful image, it doesn't have, like, an aesthetic hook, really. It's got the like, the pseudo-Petra-esque facade in the background, and the wall of it is massive. But there's not, like, unlike something like this, and I have to go back and look at the other image, which is just way out of, it's so abstract that we'd never use it. But this has, like, a clear fantasy hook to it, this image.
Yeah.
It's an inverted pyramid on top of a fortress with, like, a flying ship, right? And if this is what's not expected within our genre, but, like, this is the far end of our genre, then I think we're still playing very conservatively with this.
Well, it's a very conservative thing, yeah. I mean, Cody's not done, I know that, but yeah, I talked to Cody maybe a week ago or something, and I'm like, hey, what are you planning for, like, the concepts of Valley and stuff like that? He's like, oh, I'm just still, like, getting basic shape down and stuff like that. I'm like, what are you gonna do with colors? I'm like, I don't know, but I need something to pop. And I'm like, yeah, you need things to highlight and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't judge this as, like, not hooky enough or anything like that, or not readable enough yet, because it's really still kind of far down the line. And yeah, I don't know. I kind of like, fantasy has a certain, like, rift in it where, like, there's a certain expectation of flair and being garish or campy or something. Like, there's a certain allowance or almost suspension of disbelief for, like, really huge colors and, like, improbable structures and stuff like that. And I think actually doing something subtle is worthwhile if we can pull it off. I mean, I don't think everything's going to look like Valley in our world, but I think it's also nice to have something that's subtle, because it's actually going to change within the game, and you're actually going to notice them pretty clearly if we start with something that's very basic.
I can see the validity of that. I think maybe and we'll switch back to Frank's screen. Sorry, Frank.
Okay.
You need me to share again?
Yeah, would love to see what you're working on. I read this thing a while ago. It was about world building, and the guy was talking about, like, he was talking about your first impressions and the sorts of cities you could make. And he was talking about how this one city, the best city he'd ever come across in, like, a D&D campaign, was this massive, like, sinkhole, basically, that had chains crisscrossing inside of it and was holding, like, a Godzilla, essentially.
Yeah.
And there was a city that built up around this creature that was being imprisoned there. And the whole society was founded upon manipulating this creature and utilizing whatever resources it could give you, like bleeding it out was something that they were doing frequently, harvesting scales from
You've told me about this article or story or wherever you read it. I remember.
Okay. Sorry. It's hard to remember since we've had so many conversations.
Yeah.
So anyway, they were talking about that, and they were talking about how, also for the viewers, but not that I can really claim that was my original intention. They were talking about how when you have a fantasy world, when you're trying to hook someone, it's better to put the most, like, the biggest spectacle that you have, or one of the largest that you have out there. for people to see. And I do think that in some ways, even as conservatively as we've rendered it, that valley leaves a tremendous impression because it's so large. And the concept image that Cody's been working on, I think, is still going to be utilized in the game as like when you first see valley sort of thing. Maybe even like as a cutscene with some minimal animation or something from on top of the cliffside, the first cliff face. Maybe some characters are staring down into it.
Yeah, I don't think it like technically I don't really think it lacks any kind of epic scale exactly. It's just not on the scale of something